morning, beloveds. All right, I'm back in my usual spot, and we have a unusual title today. It is August 21st. Our title is The Coffee Shop Teacher. All things whatsoever ye would have that people should do to you, do ye even so to them. Matthew 7:12. How often we condemn when we should forgive, how often censure when we might praise. What untold grief of heart might be relieved by the words of cheer and forgiveness. Science of Mind, page 438. During a visit to Chicago, a friend and I decided to get a bite at a local coffee shop. The waitress assigned to our table behaved rudely when she took our order, answering us abruptly when we asked a question about something on the menu. It was clear we were the most unwelcome guests at this coffee shop. When it was time to leave, I decided not to leave a tip. I told my friend I considered a tip to be for good service, which in my opinion we had not received. I thought that was the end of the incident. However, later in the day I found myself musing about what had happened. Suddenly I realized that I had missed a wonderful opportunity to practice an important lesson in love. I made a mental note to act much differently if I found myself in a similar situation. Next time, I promised myself I will leave a large tip, a big smile, and a kind word. I will make a choice to act instead of react by offering kindness where I had earlier been moved but by only anger and negativity. Our teachers come in surprising packages. They are not always the loving persons in our life. Our greatest teacher may be the person who brings out the worst in us, but this gives us an opportunity to respond in a manner that requires us to stretch. We encounter what we need to learn, and we learn to love by loving. There is no other way. I treat other people in accordance with what I am, not what they are doing. I choose today to respond to everyone with love and kindness. And that is SB, Shirley Briggs. Well, all right, Shirley. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything to say because Shirley just kind of lined it out there. One of the reasons why I suggest the loving, kind, compassionate practice is simply for that reason. Because there are going to be days that we are going to meet people who are going to need a little extra. This coffee shop waitress was having a bad day. She took it out on her customers. Is it okay? No. But when we practice loving, kind, compassionate response on ourselves, then when we meet people that need a little extra, then hopefully what we can do is respond and not react. And that's what Shirley is saying in here. She reacted in anger instead of responding with who she was. Who she is as a beloved child of God. She is a wonderfully loving person. But she reacted in anger. And that's the difference between a reaction and a response. In a response, we take a minute to take a deep breath and to think about what we are doing. We make a conscious choice rather than when we react, it's an unconscious choice. So the more we practice loving, kind, compassion on ourselves and on other people, the more likely we are to react in a loving, kind, and compassionate way, in an unconscious way, because we are reacting with who we are rather than. But that's one of the reasons why I emphasize the difference between responding and reacting. Because there is a huge difference between responding and reacting, and it's all about consciousness. And that is the ground floor level lesson in Science of Mind. One, there is only one, and two, consciousness. The more conscious we are, the more conscious we react, the more conscious we respond to things, where we stop and actually take a breath to think about what it is that we want to bring into this world, the more we are going to bring love, kindness, compassion, creativity, and joy. And the more we work on it, the more likely when we're hit with situations that require a reaction, because there are going to be those situations where we are going to have to react before we can think about it. When we've been practicing the loving, kind, compassionate response, then we are more likely to react that way. The only way to be loving is to practice. What was it that she said? We learn to love by loving. There's no other way to do it. And as Martin Luther King says, only love can drive out hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Love can. And so we are obligated to practice that love. And what better place to practice than on ourselves? And what better place to practice than on people who are rude? It does not mean we have to continue to subject ourselves to them. It doesn't. But when we respond to their rudeness with rudeness or unkindness, then it just makes more. And when we respond to their rudeness with compassion, then it lessens the rudeness in the room. It lessens the unhappiness in the room. Will it change that other person? Maybe not. But you haven't added to the unhappiness. You haven't added to the rudeness. And that's what our goal is. Our goal is to not add to. Our goal is to respond in a loving, kind, and compassionate way to reduce that, to increase the love in the room. And we can all do it. We can all do it. But it does, like I said, it goes back to that consciousness. There is one source. There is one source. We all come from that source. It is an inexhaustible source, and we have the opportunity to be loving, kind, and compassionate, no matter what. Now, that does not mean we have to continue to subject ourselves to people who are rude. When people are rude, then we are allowed to move on. Like if you have people in your life who are having a bad day, then you can love them from over here until they get their act together. Because we all have those moments. Okay, so let me make sure that there's nothing that I have left out, because I absolutely love, the first quote, the quote from Matthew, is the golden rule. All the things that you would have people do to you, make sure that you're doing it to them, because you get what you give out. And then the Science of Mind quote reminded me, okay, so how often we condemn when we should forgive, how often censure when we might praise. What untold grief of heart might be relieved by words of cheer and forgiveness. Since I do work in retail to pay my mortgage, I work in a health food store, and what I'm reminded of is it takes 10 praises to take out one negative. It takes 10 praises to take out one negative. And so that, on our end of the goal, since we're the ones selling things, we have to be cheerful and happy and what have you. But for every negative customer, it takes 10 customers to wipe away the memory of that negative customer. So we have to be on our game and make sure that a customer doesn't walk away with a negative experience of us, because they're more likely to tell other people about their negative experience with us than they are their positive. So, words of praise, words of praise. We talk about it. Anytime we can use a kind, compassionate, loving word, even when we need to make a correction too. Because we were talking about that, how do you correct a fellow employee when they say something that isn't exactly what we need? It's like, there's got to be a kind and compassionate way of doing it. So I work very hard on that. And I love her affirmation. I treat other people in accordance with what I am, not what they are doing. So you want a mission today? There it is. Treat people with how you are. You are a beloved child of God. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to treat people how we are, not what they're doing. So it means when you meet that person who is having a bad day and they're rude, that you respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately, because you are a beloved child of God. Yep. That's a heck of a mission, and I have every faith in you that you can do it. It does help when we are when we are hydrated, well nourished, and have gotten plenty of sleep. So it's easier to be nice when we feel better. So And that's one of the things that when you meet people who aren't, who may not feel well, they may not be acting well. So we don't know what battles they're fighting. The least we can do is be kind. So, all right. So that is your mission today. The other one is the same one I give you every day, which is what I've been talking about. To do something loving, do something kind, do something compassionate for yourself every single day. It is a spiritual practice. And the thing about practice is practice makes permanent. I am encouraging you to do it every day, to create that first response, to create that default setting, to create a loving, kind, compassionate reaction instead of the other reactions we might have, so that you react and respond with what you are, with who you are, not what the other person is doing. So, especially when they're trying to provoke a reaction from you, because, we meet those people. And when you can respond lovingly, kindly, and compassionately in the face of them provoking you, then you're the one holding the power. So, all right. So practice on yourself. Enjoy something. Take a deep breath. Take a nap. Take a walk. Whatever it is that is loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. Please do that. Please do it every day. You're a beloved child of God. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. All right. I would encourage you to engage your mind and your body. I moved my gym day, so today I've engaged my mind and my body. Please drink plenty of water. It looks like for a week, we might get cooler weather. Mostly because it might rain every day. And even if it doesn't rain every day, just a little bit cooler will be nice. But still, drink plenty of water. I love that TARDIS sound. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important, and even in the cooler weather, make sure you get hydration and get that early in your day bright light to help you, reset your circadian rhythms. It'll improve your energy. It'll improve your sleep. Trust me on this. It's science. It is science. So do that, and then open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us because it is an inside-out job. Happiness comes from the inside. When you know who you are, when you know you're a beloved child of God, when you know that heaven comes from within because that is a state of mind and a state of consciousness, it means you have the power to create it no matter what is going on around you, no matter where you are. All right, so that is what I know. And I'm going to encourage you to check us on the social medias. We are always available on all of the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I am the Running Rev Ryan. I'm trying to cross-post these on the Running Rev Ryan page. I need to go look and see if it's working. And if you want to know what's going on at the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the Constant Contact, and those hot links are hot. There are classes, there are book studies. We've got a food market coming up. We've got a soul session coming up. There's a lot going on. And I don't always know when things are happening. I thought the soul session was last week. So get on that Constant Contact and then you'll know. All right. I think that's what I know. So, yeah. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a magical day, an enchanted day, and a Sunday. A enchanted day. An awesome day. An awe-filled day. A rest day, a get stuff done day, whatever it is kind of day you need and want to have, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. As I have said, it will continue to remind you, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. It is a state of grace. And grace can't be earned and it can't be taken away. All right? This is what we live in. In that one, we live in that state of grace of being beloved children of God. We are made of God, by God, for God. We are here to live, to experience, to learn, and just to be who we are. All right? So don't forget who you are. Okay. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m., but before that, we will have an amazing 11 a.m. service for you. He's been working on What Flavor Are You? I forget what the title is today, so I don't have to go look. All right, so I'm knowing good things. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.